everybody, how's it going? It's Sean from Retaliation Resale. I'm gonna turn this off, let everything adjust. Great new sign. Gonna hang it on the door, just put that little hook up. Gonna let it dry. Linda had that made for me, and it's awesome. So really happy about that. Also happy about today's video, and I'm talking about, can you still make money selling books on Amazon FBA in 2025? I've wanted to make this video for a long time. Wanted to make it last year. Never got around to it. The cats are jumping all over the place. I'm sure they'll make a appearance in the video. But I wanted to make this video for a long time because there are a lot of people telling you, oh, you can make so much money on Amazon FBA, throwing out lots of numbers, and it's all very crazy. I read a lot of posts on the Facebook groups, and people are saying, hey, what's going on? I can't find these books. My local thrift store doesn't have what people are telling me I can find. What's going on? And people's responses are, yeah, hey, it's you know, it's a little different from all the YouTube videos. So I wanted to make this video for everybody that's thinking about selling books on Amazon FBA, and even people that have been doing it for a while, because you might hear something, you might get a concept that you didn't realize, sort of what was going on. You get an understanding of something that maybe had been puzzling you. So let's, before I tell you whether you can still make money selling books on Amazon FBA, let's backtrack a little bit. Amazon FBA, for those of you who don't know, is fulfilled by Amazon. This is where you get books that are profitable, you send them into Amazon, Amazon sells them, ships them to the customer, collects the money, pays all the taxes, and then sends you your cut. So that's what Amazon FBA is. I've got my notes down here, so you'll see me looking down. A few things that you should know about selling books on Amazon FBA that people don't really tell you. First off, it's hard. It's not easy. You're dealing with books. Books can be dirty, they're dusty, sometimes they're heavy. Depending on where you get books, you might be getting them from someone's house, you might be going upstairs, you're lifting boxes of books, wear and tear on your knees, your back. So for those of you who are old, like myself, 59, I have a torn meniscus on my right knee. I'm getting that repaired from surgery next week. I'm supposed to do a clean out at post-estate sale. Can't do it. Linda and some friends are going to have to pick up the slack and take care of it for me, which I really appreciate. But these are things to take into account. You're dealing with books. You know, how strong are you? How much can you lift, etc. So, cats are playing. So it's lots of work. It can be dirty, and it's not easy. But can you still make money? Other people say yes, of course you can. But you also need to understand all this information that you're getting from YouTube. What are these people's motivation? Why are they making these videos? A lot of people are selling courses, they're selling programs, or they're selling you software. They want you to buy their course for $40 or $50. It outlines, oh, this whole process, it's simple, just do this. Maybe they have a program, pay them $30 a month. You get access to their Facebook group. You know, they'll mentor you for half an hour a month via email, all kinds of things. Or they have a software program. They've got a listing program. They've got a pricing program. They've got this tool that you just need, and it'll make your life easier for the low price of whatever, $39.99 a month. So be aware of why people are giving you the information that they're giving you. And at this point, you should be asking, well, Sean, why are you making this video? Hey, I'm glad you asked. When I first started about 6 years or so ago, there was a lot of information available. I watched a lot of free Reezy resell videos, learned a ton. Amazon FBA Dave was another resource. Learned a lot of good stuff from him. He answered some of my questions about some older books. Very knowledgeable, and there were a lot of people that helped me, and I want to give back. People helped me. I want to help you. The other thing is eventually I want to get this YouTube channel monetized. I want to get paid for making YouTube videos. The more content I make, the more people I help, the more people will watch, will subscribe, will leave a comment. So this is a good spot. To say, hey, please like the video. If you got something out of this video, please like it. Please subscribe. Please leave me a comment. Now, do I have a course? Do I have a program? Do I have any software? No, I don't. At some point, will I? Probably not. I might. I don't want to say never because, 5 years from now, if I write a book or something, I don't want somebody to say, you said you weren't going to write a book and you did, and I'm never going to trust you. So I'm not saying that. I just want to get my channel monetized. I think this video will help. Now, to answer the question, can you still make money selling books on Amazon FBA? Yes, of course you can. However, there's one caveat. This is super, super important. In order to make money selling books on Amazon FBA, you absolutely need to understand what your expenses are. Because once you understand what your expenses are, you can figure out if you're making money, how much money you're making, and what it'll take to make more money, to sort of scale up. And do you need to sell more books? What kind of books do you need to sell? You need to understand what your costs are, because if you don't, then this is not the business for you. You can sell books and actually lose money. You can sell a good amount of books and still lose money. So let's jump in and I'll cover a lot of things. There are some basic expenses that you need to incur to sell books on Amazon FBA. First, you need an Amazon account, and that's $40 a month, $39.99. You need some kind of scanning software, scanning program that'll help you find the books that are profitable. I use Scout IQ. There's also Scoutly. Scout IQ for me, $44 a month. That is for the live mode and the database. It allows me to go down to the basement of some library sale, go to a Goodwill, maybe an industrial neighborhood. So if I can't use my iPhone, there'll be a database so I can scan it and it'll pull from that. So I might not get the most up-to-date price. I'm getting a price from the last time I downloaded the database. Usually if I go out looking for books, I'll download the database before I go. But this allows me to at least get something in the ballpark of what the value of the book actually is. So that's why it's $44. There's a lower plan of $14 if you just want the database. I think it's just the database, but it's good to have both when you're starting out, because you don't want to be in the position where you find some books that maybe nobody else has been to. You find what they call a honey hole, and you can't find out what the prices are. You can tell that these are old books, they're covered in dust, and no one's scanned them in forever, and you're like, I can't get the data because I don't have the proper setup. So at first, if you kind of know what's going on, just go for the live mode and the database mode. The other thing you need is some kind of software listing program to list all the books that you get. I use ScanLister. There's a bunch of other ones. For me, ScanLister is $24 a month. If you figure out that you like it, eventually down the road, you can just buy it outright, get a lifetime plan, one-time cost. But at first, it's $24 a month. So ScanLister, Scout IQ, basic Amazon account, that's $108. Other people tell you get a repricer, and a repricer is something that will reprice your books accordingly. The price of books changes depending on demand and how many copies there are for sale. So eventually you're going to want to get a repricer, but at the beginning, until you know whether this really is for you, hold off on the repricer. You can kind of tell what's going on after about 3 months. It takes, for this example, it takes about 3 months to kind of get to the spot where you need to get to, and then you'll be able to figure out if you're going to make money, how much money you can make, and all of that. So say, give it 3 months if you can. Have enough money to do this for 3 months, and then if it's not working out, you can always bail and do something else. You can ramp up. You can reevaluate. Why I'm saying 3 months is, for all this to make sense, you need to get up to 1,000 books. So if you can send in 100 books a week for 3 months, that's 12 weeks. I know 12 times 100 is 1,200, but you're going to sell some books. Everything will make sense. At 1,000 books, what happens is you want to replace the books you sell each week with new books. And I know you're going to say, well, how many books do I sell? Will I be selling? How does that work? People say that you will either sell 5 to 10% of your total volume per week. Other people say, no, it's 1% a day. I go with 5%. 1% a day is, in a 7-day week, is 7%, which is in the 5 to 10%. I always like to overestimate my expenses and underestimate my profits. So I say 5%, it's safe. I'd rather be happy with, oh, I did better than I thought, than, oh, I didn't do as well as I thought. That's not good. If you're selling 5% of your books a week, if you have 1,000 books in your inventory, that's 50 books a week. You can work really hard. You can grind really hard. You can get 100 books a week for 3 months. And then after that, you can back off a little bit if you want and send in, replace the books that you sold. So 50 books a week. For me, that's 2 shipments. Okay, you're sending in 50 books a week after you've reached 1,000. Now, some of you might be like, Sean, I can't get 100 books a week. That's fine. For this example, it'll help you understand what your expenses are. And maybe you start off with 500. Maybe 500 is the best you can do. It all depends. Everybody's got a different amount of time that they spend doing this. I spend 10 hours a week. 1 hour a day sort of prepping my books, getting the shipments together. Saturday, I spend 5 hours sourcing. So I spend 5 hours sourcing and the other 5 prepping, listing, boxing things up, taking it to the UPS store. You might be different. You might have 20 hours. You might have 50 hours. Everybody's different, but once you understand what your expenses are, it'll sort of all make sense and you'll be able to figure out what's what. But okay, for this example, you're sending in 50 books. The other expense is you've got to get these books. At the beginning, the easiest way to get books is to buy them. So I'm going to, for sake of example, say that you're spending $1 a book. Some Goodwills, hardbacks are $2, paperbacks are $1. Some people are like, no, Goodwill in my area, hardbacks are $2.99, $3.99. I understand cost is different, but for this example, we're going to say books are $1 a pop. You're selling 50 books a week. You're replacing them with 50 books. That's 200 bucks, 200 books a month. $1 a book, you're spending $200 on books. We're now at $108 for your account, $200 a month on books. That's $308. To send these books in, you need to pay for postage. And we're going to say you're sending in we're going to call it two 25-pound boxes, maybe 30-pound boxes. We're going to say that each box is $13 in postage. I'm in California. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. For whatever reason, most of my books go down to Southern California or like Las Vegas. And I don't know why that is, but it just is. The warehouses are a little more spread out the further west you go. For those of you that live in the Midwest, Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia, South Carolina, you're not shipping them as far. You're usually the same state or maybe one state over, which is still not nearly as far as San Francisco to LA. So I feel pretty comfortable with this example. You're paying $13 a box roughly. So for 2 shipments, $26 a week, that's $104 a month. So your total expenses, $412. And I'll revisit some of these numbers later on when we talk about how to make more money and that kind of thing. So, and as far as money goes with Amazon, Amazon normally pays every 2 weeks. Amazon keeps some of the money in reserve. So for instance, if you sold a $100 book, they're not going to pay you that money right away, because if the customer returns it, they take that money back. So if they've already paid you, it's going to be harder to get that money from you, especially in the beginning when you don't have a lot of money coming in. The process is slow. When you ship your books into Amazon, they don't all stay at one warehouse. I've had times where I've sent in a shipment of 30 books. 20 of them have been resent to other warehouses across the country. I've sent books down, the shipment goes down to LA. A couple of them might go up to Sacramento. There might be one that goes to upstate New York, Indiana, Florida. Amazon sends them all over the place. And it's not like they're sent immediately. There are times where it might take you 4 to 6 weeks for a shipment to be divided and completely sent out. So just because you send books to a warehouse doesn't mean they're immediately in the system and they're immediately available to be sold. So it takes time. So again, this 3-month example is good. You're sending in books. It's taking them a while to get up to the system. It's going to take you a while to get up to your 1,000 book total. But you're at 1,000 books now. You're selling 50 books a week. You're replenishing them with 50 books a week. Your total expenses are about $412. Okay, great. You know your expenses are $412. If you're selling books and the profit is $2, you're going to be making $400. Sound good? It shouldn't, because it's not good. Your expenses for the month, $412. If you're only making $400, guess what? You just lost $12 a month. You did all this work. You did all this driving, contacting people, scanning books, and you just lost $12. It's not worth it. I know you're going, wait, Sean, this is your example. You said expenses were $412. You said, hey, a $2 book, I'm only going to make $400. What gives? You said I can make money. Well, you can, but you're not going to make money selling $2 books. I give the example of $2 books because that's the default price for Scout IQ. It won't show a book is profitable unless it's at least $2. Now, at first, you're going to want all the profitable books you can because you need to rev things up. You need to get your stock up to 1,000. Eventually, you're going to want to be selling $3 books, $4 books, $5 books, even find some books that are worth more than that. And I'll cover how to do that a little later on. But I want to show you, sort of explain and show you that don't just rely on $2 books. Look for books that are more. At the very beginning, yes, but as soon as you can, make more contacts, find better books, send better books in. And that brings me to the next point of, there's basically 3 ways that you make more money. You send in more books, you send in more profitable books, and you lower your expenses. You lower the amount of money that you're paying for books. So, first off, send in more books. Let's say you send in an extra 10 books a week. $2 a book. Wow, okay, that's an extra 20 bucks profit. But no, remember we said you're paying $1 a book. So that $20 profit, you now got to knock $10 off. Okay, well, we make 10 bucks. Well, no, there's postage. So, forgot about postage. So really, those 10 books that you sent in, you're really only making like about $7 or $8 extra. But that's all right. That kind of, once you're getting into the sort of the mindset of send in more, but it brings us to the second point. Send in more profitable books. The same example, you're sending in 200 books, you're selling 200 books. You're sending in 200 books a month, you're selling 200 books. At $3 profit, you now make $600, and $600 minus $412 is $188. Great, you made $188. Isn't that awesome? Is it? The example I used is I work 10 hours a week. That's 40 hours a month. $188 divided by 40 hours worth of work is a whopping $4.70. You're not even making minimum wage. That's not the best, is it? But okay, take those 200 books you're selling. Now multiply it by 5. You're selling in books that make you $5 profit. That's $1,000. $1,000 minus your $412 in expenses is $588. You're making $14.70 an hour. Much better. Much better. That's a lot better. Okay. Now, I also was talking about lowering your expenses. You can lower your expenses a bunch of different ways, but the main way is to get yourself free books. Now, maybe you have to go to garage sales. Maybe you're finding books at library sales, or you're getting books on Facebook. However you can. If you can lower your price, let's say you lower your price to 50 cents. So instead of paying $200 a book, you're now paying $100. You just saved $100 by getting more free books. And the free books are out there. You know, I have been doing this for, like I said, 6 plus years. And I actually have a bookstore that gives me free books. You know, a lot of people go in to sell their books. They might bring in 30 books. Bookstore might only want 3 of them, pay them like $5. Not all those books are good. So they might go outside. The bookstore doesn't have enough space. I get a call, hey, Sean, we've got these extra books. Come take them. They know what I do with them. These books don't have value to them. This bookstore doesn't sell on Amazon. They know I sell them for a profit, but they don't care. They love the fact that I come and take their books because they don't have value for them. And then that gives them more space for books that they can't sell. So it works out great. I'm working with the state sale closeout places. These are not estate sales that you know about because they're not open up to the public. talk about that in a different video. I have some thrift stores. I take their overstock. And actually, I just hooked up with a real estate agent that is now giving me books or calling me. I'm selling books, or not selling books. I'm selling this house. It has some books. Do you want them? I come and I take them. I know a buddy that buys and sells storage units. He's like, yeah, we have some books. Do you want them? So I've made a connection there. These connections take time. The more you do it, the more you put yourself out there, the more you're going to meet people. This is how you lower your book costs. This is how you lower your expenses. So with the example of $5 books making $1,000, you've got your $108 in, Scout IQ, ScanLister, Amazon account. That's $108. You're now spending only $100 in books, $104 in postage. That brings your costs down, your expenses down to $312. You're making $688 in profit. You're now making $17.20. So, yes, you can still make money selling books on Amazon, FBA. However, going back to the beginning where I said, why are people making these videos? You'll see a lot of videos that people are making. I taught my next door neighbor how to do this, and they're making X amount, or they make, $5,000 a month. Well, with this information, now when you hear those figures, when you hear this information, you can now think, does that make sense? Is this person full of it? Do they know what they're talking about? Because if what they're saying doesn't jive with understanding your expenses and what you're selling, then you can basically not listen to them. You'll know, I don't want to put my trust in this person. Let me trust somebody else. And I'm not saying it's me. I always say, yeah, you can trust me, but trust yourself more. And I stand by that. If someone says, hey, I taught my next door neighbor how to sell books, and he sold $5,000 worth of books. Linda just appeared around the fridge. Is there something you need? Sign's right here, sweetie. I cover that. Linda's like, where's the sign? Where's the sign? Okay. Thank you. Sorry, I digress. Okay, well, first off, you need to ask questions like, whoa. What does selling $5,000 a month on Amazon mean? Is that what they retailed for on Amazon? Did Amazon sell $5,000 worth of books and then your cut comes from that? Or is it, no, the profit that Amazon sent you was $5,000 for the month? If it's that, okay, do a little figuring. Okay, if Amazon sent somebody $5,000, if you know that, let's say your average selling price on Amazon for the book is $15, and that's going to make you a $5 profit. Okay, that means that for the month, then you sold 333 books. 5,000 divided by 15 is 333. Okay, divide 333 by 4, and that's your weekly total. Okay, that means you sold 83 books in a week. All right, that's doable with the examples I've been given. At 5%, that means it's 1,660 books total. So if somebody's selling 5% of their books, which I said is a good average, for you to sell 83 books a week, which would give you 333 books for the month at a $15 selling cost, which is $5 profit, you need to have 1,660 books. Is it possible for you to get 1,660 books? Absolutely. However, I say absolutely, but that's for me. I'm in a major metropolitan area. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. San Francisco itself is a city of 800,000 people. If you live in Wyoming, the whole state of Wyoming has like 550,000 people in the whole state. If you live in Casper, Wyoming, your answer is going to be a little different. It's going to be harder for you to find books. Not that you can't do it. There are ways of doing it, and that's for another video. But you're going to go, well, wait a minute. No, for me, it's going to take more work. It's going to take more effort. So this isn't going to work for me. Well, that's good to know. A lot of times these people, they just assume it's simple for you to get a book. Oh, well, you have to go get backroom access. I heard one guy is talking about, I went and I talked to the floor person. He couldn't help me. So I asked for the manager, and, I won't take no for an answer. Dude, please. It's great to say. It's harder to do. So where are you located? How much time do you have? There are people that drive 3 hours to a big city, and then they have a list of thrift stores that they hit. But not everybody can do that. Do you have kids? How old are your kids? Can your kids come with you? Do they need a sitter? That's an extra expense. You might have to include that in the expenses that I've talked about. There's gas, there's bridge tolls. For those of you who live near the turnpike, where you have to pay extra money on the toll roads, you have an extra expense. So there's a lot of different expenses, but just beware, in closing, beware of the information that people give you, because it might not be relevant to you. But based on what they say, you can figure out, based on an average selling cost that you think the book sells for, how much profit you need to make. You'll know how many books you need to sell a month. You can figure out how many books that is a week. Oh, hey, sweetie. Sorry. Got this little girl. Say hi to the camera. That's heartache. You'll know, based on those numbers, how many books that you need to sell and how many books you need to have. So if you need to have 3,000 books in your account and you only have 5 hours a week to spend and you live 45 minutes from the nearest city, this might not work. In later videos, I can show how you might be able to make it work, because getting books from thrift stores is not the only source. You can have people find books for you. You can buy books from someplace across the country and have them ship them into Amazon for you. A lot of people don't know this service exists. You have to pay for it. Your profit margin will be lower, but you will still make money. So there's a lot of different options open to you. We'll talk about those later, but I wanted to cover the main points of this video, which are: understand your expenses. Once you do that, you'll know whether this will work for you or not. And if it doesn't work for you, but you're still interested in selling books, you can find a way of getting books to make it work for you. I hope that makes sense. So you can still do it. It depends on how badly you want it. But you're going to have to understand what your expenses are, so you can understand what your profit is. And can you make enough money? You don't want to be making the $4 and, what did I say? $4.70 an hour. So thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of the video. I hope it wasn't too convoluted. If you have any questions, please leave a message in the comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, it's been Sean from Retaliation Resale. Thanks.